Are there any little known hacks or tactics that you feel like more SaaS founders should know about?
Yeah, I think the one I like the most is one that seems so simple. Like it doesn't really take much to do, but it's really early stage. So if I'm validating a product, if I'm trying to figure out whether this thing is going to work, or maybe I'm validating also like, do I have the right people or the right channel of folks and like that I'm going to draw from for the early stages. I will create a landing page. I'll put the sign up form. I'll do a kind of like the waitlist scenario, right? But what I think most people do is what they're trying to figure out is like they're trying to get people in the door, and then they kind of just leave them there and don't really talk to them until they're ready to launch. And so what they're trying to figure out is like, do they have the right distribution channel? But I think you can take that one step further and actually validate the product itself. So I don't even build until the landing page is done, the waitlist is coming in. But also I take that one step further where instead of sending them a thanks for signing up email, I actually have already mapped out what is the biggest risk assumption that I have for this business to actually work. So for instance, I had one example that I did. It was like it was going to be kind of like this. It wasn't an extension, but it was an add-on, kind of hacking through like Starlink's website and system. And there was this very particular problem that they had that people who travel had when they were using Starlink in their traveling. And so I heard them all complaining about this particular problem. And so I built a website that basically took all of their words and said, like, don't you hate it when this happens? And, I'm building, such and such. Sign up here if you're interested. So they fill out the email or they're filling in their email. And instead of sending them thanks for signing up and then never talking to them again, I had already determined that one of the assumptions that I had for this business to work was that they would have to be moving probably close to something like once a month for me to make any money off this deal, right? They wouldn't be using the tool unless they would just look at it and say, it's not worth my time or energy. Or they would just use their workarounds that they currently use if they moved less than once a month. So that was kind of just my thought. And so what I did is in my email, I said, thanks for signing up. I'm Nate, being very personable. I'm like you, I travel, I have a Starlink, et cetera, et cetera. I'm building this for you. I've heard the complaints, but like really, shorten this all up, but get to the point and say, I have a, important question. And I would ask them, how often do you move? And just send that out. Just because I was like, if somebody comes and signs up on my wait list and they aren't moving once a month, I don't really actually care to even interview them. I don't care what they really have to say because they're not in my ideal customer profile. So, but if they say I'm moving more than once a month, then the great thing about that is I've just established a relationship. And now I can just ask them question after question after question to my ideal customer profile and get answers that I probably would have never even came up with. So I use this as a mechanism to actually start the customer discovery journey and understand what products and what features do I have to build of this product to actually resolve my customers' pain points. So now I'm having a direct communication instead of having that communication in the group, in the Facebook group or the Slack channel or something. Now I'm doing this one-on-one. If it turns out that they say something weird and I'm like, do you mind like getting on a call and talking to me about this? They're like, oh, cool, because you're Nate, because you're building this for me and we talked and like it's all great. And now I can use that as one of the data points for me to build off of. And I haven't even started, or maybe I've kind of started, but it's just the really basic foundation of it. But whatever they say is probably going to be really important for me to make sure that I have in there if they're going to buy it. So I use that as the assumption killer or company killer assumption. And I asked that in the first email. That's my kind of hack for figuring it out.
Hey, it's Ryan here. If you like that video, please click the like and subscribe button somewhere down there and check out the full interview right over here. Go on, click it. You know you want to.